Eric Engelbart's Esquire. Esquire. Okay. I said yes. When my friend Dale Golden, who God love him, said this particular yes twice, called me and asked me if the nominating committee could put my name on the slate to be your president. In the congregation, I said yes. And I want to talk to you a little bit at the beginning here by telling you and maybe sort of showing you why I said yes. Let me start out by telling you how I got here, how I got to be here right now. 25 years ago tonight, and I mean literally tonight, not knowing a single Jew in this town, I got invited to dinner at Nate and Shuggy Einstein's house. And with that dinner invitation came an invitation to come to Rosh Hashanah services with them here. The first, if I remember right, Rosh Hashanah services in this building. Happy 25th, building. And I was treated to hospitality and delicious food and new friendships that are now amazingly to me a quarter century old. I was greeted warmly as a guest in their house and here at the temple. And I started my journey to saying yes. Later, I became a member. I volunteered. I got involved. I watched this place grow. And I watched it change, and I fell in love with it. Why? Now you have to help me. This is a full participation president's speech this year. So bear with me, but I need your help. Stand up if when you were asked to be president, you said yes. Stand up. Stay still. Stand up if you said yes when you were asked to be a board member of this congregation. Say yes if you, stand up if you said yes when you were asked to teach in a religious school. Stand up if you said yes when you were asked to coach basketball. Stand up if you said yes when you were asked to volunteer to help with GAN. With Shalom Fest. Stand up if you helped with Shalom Fest. If you decided and said yes to becoming a member of the sisterhood. I could go on all night, but I'll do one more. Stand up if when you were asked to do anything that meant giving up your time to help with something at the temple. Now look around. This is why I felt like it. That's why I felt like it was a privilege to say yes, because of all of you. This place is in many ways a family. Sometimes it's dysfunctional, like most families, but it's a place of love and willingness and involvement. You can sit down. Thank you for your help. The Temple of Israel itself is a place where you come to know and to be known, to be loved, to bring your greatest joys, and have others rejoice with you. And yes, to bring your greatest pains, and have others hug you close and help you through. That's what makes this a special place. That's what made me say yes and has kept me saying yes. And for those of you here tonight as guests, it's why we hope you'll come back and be part of this. Next week, thereafter, be part of us. Anyway, Rabbi talked a minute ago about some of the things that we've had happening lately. If you were here at the camp service, if you've been here on Sunday morning for Rabbi Master's family service, or just walked around and watched the kids, the vibe is amazing. Anybody who's spent time here lately knows that we've got unbelievable momentum going. There's something special happening, and we're going to keep it going. Come be part of it. But let me tell you something. I would give anything to sit down and say, that's it, in this grade. We're all full of what we used to do in the 70s called warm fuzzies. I have no doubt that if we could run this place on just helping out and friendship and love, we would be among the most financially sound congregations in America. But we can't, and we're not. And we have to do something to change that. A quotation that has been wrongly attributed to Albert Einstein many times says that the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. For too many years, we've tried doing the same thing to pay our bills. And let me tell you what happens. We have to make phone calls to the same people over and over for infusions of cash, for a new air conditioner, a new compressor, to rent equipment, to fix ceiling tiles at the Family Life Center, for new computer systems, for yes, our Rosh Hashanah luncheon. And many of those folks, thank God, bless them over and over and over, say yes. But that's not the way it should work. What if eventually those people who always say yes occasionally start saying no? Not for being mean, but because that's just the way their life is at that moment. I can tell you what happens. We are always operating on the financial edge. A few no's will push us over the brink. Let me put it this way. When it comes to the temple, I hate the word dues. Dues are what you pay a country club. Dues are what you pay to belong to a professional organization. Dues are what you pay to belong to your homeowners association. You pay something, and you expect, no, really you have contracted to get something for those dues. My friends, this is not a country club. And we've got to stop treating it as if it is when it comes to money. For those of you who read my bulletin article, my first one last month, I teased a little bit and said, I'm going to paraphrase John Kennedy tonight. So here it is. Ask not what your temple can do for you, ask what you can do for your temple. And this time I'm not talking about physically what you can do by volunteering your time and your energy. I think we have demonstrated that we're really good at that. We're not perfect, we can do better, but we're good at it. But we have to change how we think about this place. All of us. Like I said, this is not a country club. This is a philanthropic organization. We do good work. We do lots of good work. We do good work for our congregants. We provide spiritual support. We provide religious education, bar and bat mitzvah places, on and on. Help when you have a sick loved one. We do good works for our congregants. We do good works for our community. Anybody who's been here when we've had the homeless families here through games sees what a wonderful thing we do for our community here. We participate in the Walk for the Homeless, the Table of Abraham. We have Shalom Fest, an unbelievable outreach to the community. Good works for the congregation, good works for the community, and every single one of us, all of us, get to do something with the money we give to the temple that we don't when we give dues. We get tax deduction for our contributions to the temple. Why? Because this is not a country club. This is a philanthropic organization. We have to think of it that way. Most of us, including me, spread out where we donate our money. When so many of you stood up when I asked those questions earlier, you demonstrated that this is a priority to you. The Temple of Israel is a priority in your lives. But if the Temple of Israel is a priority for us, that means we have to provide it, we have to make it a sound financial home for our religious and philanthropic activities, for our kids to learn and appreciate being Jewish, for us to socialize and play together as Jews. So we have to make it a financial priority. To many of us, we look at our dues letter and we pay the minimum. Too many of us don't think about that money the same way we think about the money we give to the United Way, or the Heart Foundation, or the Cancer Society. We leave charitable gifts in our wills to regular charities, not to the Temple of Israel Endowment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that money going to those other organizations is in some way bad or lesser than the temple. But I think you'd all agree with me that it's different here. This is different. Why? I'm not going to talk about the biblical reasons or tzedakah. We all know that's there. I'll leave those for the rabbi and for sermons. But let's get back to what I was talking about earlier when I was explaining why I said yes in the first place. Because this is us. It's our rabbi, our education director, our power bill, our mortgage, our building maintenance, and all the other things we have to pay for to survive as an organization. And it's also those things we'd love to be able to afford and need. You've all heard me talk about my desire to bring visual to feeling to this room. And we all want a new roof, and a new carpet, and new paint, and the list goes on and on about the things we need that we need money for. We simply have to make the temple our #1 philanthropic priority. Giving is a privilege, not a duty. Let me say that again, because I really want you to hear and think about what I said. Giving is a privilege, not a duty. We all need to take that to heart. I paraphrased John Kennedy a minute ago and to quote Martin Luther King. I have a dream. Well, really, it's more of a vision. But when Joe Thompson stands here and gives her first Rosh Hashanah speech as your next president in a couple of years, I don't want her to give a speech like this. I don't want her to say any of the things I'm saying to you. I want her to preside over a financially sound temple that doesn't have dues, but has donations from the congregation that fully support its budget. I would love this place to be a place that recognizes that as members of a thriving Jewish community, we all benefit from having our youth attend religious school and have bar and bat mitzvahs, and that's not something we pay extra for. It's part of being a member here. I want her to gleefully announce there's no need to have a High Holy Day appeal, because when we all make our yearly donations, we include that in what we give. Our bills are paid because that we've got the money for it. Our endowment is healthy because people are putting money into it. We don't need to thank the givers to our Rosh Hashanah luncheon, and thank you to all of you who gave generously. But we don't need to thank them because we all paid for it as part of our balanced budget. I want the next president to preside over a congregation with a solid building maintenance fund, and I want all that to happen because we all recognize that giving to a philanthropic organization like this is a privilege and not a duty. But we're not there yet. As a board, we're working on it. As your president, I hope we will have some concrete proposals by the time we get to our next congregational meeting in the spring, if not before. It will take a commitment. It will take a buy-in from all of us to look at this place differently. Not dues, but donations. Not a country club, but a philanthropic organization. Until then, we need your help the old-fashioned way. When you go to make your answer to our High Holy Day appeal, I want you to think about what I've said to you. I want you not to just write the same check you've written every year. But I want you to think about priorities and philanthropy, and that giving is a privilege and not a duty. And give more than you gave before. If you're here as our guest, we welcome you. I meant everything I said before, and I meant what I said at the beginning of the speech. Join us. But we'd appreciate you to help too. There are envelopes out there for our annual giving. You can go to the temple website and provide and give there too. I'll leave you with this. Think about what I've said. Join me in giving the Temple of Israel the priority it deserves. We say yes with our hard work. We say yes with our volunteerism. We say yes with our love, and we say yes with our support for each other. We have to also say yes with our wallets, and with our pocketbooks. Say yes.